You ever looked in the mirror and said, I'm tired of losing? Not just tired, sick and tired. You ever had a moment where you felt like you were doing everything right, but life kept swinging and landing blow after blow? Let me tell you something, I will win. Not because life got easier, not because the haters backed off, not because the road got smoother. I will win because I made a decision. See, when it ain't about talent, it ain't about luck. It's about grit. It's about refusing to stay down. Every time life hits me, I get up swinging harder. Every door that slams in my face, I kick down 3 more. You can't stop me because I already decided the outcome. I will. There were nights I cried. Mornings I didn't want to get out of bed. People counted me out, said I was done. Said I wasn't good enough, smart enough, fast enough, but I showed up, bleeding, bruised, still breathing. And as long as I've got breath in my body, I've got a chance. And that chance is all I need. See, winners don't wait for perfect timing. Winners don't wait for permission. Winners create opportunity when there's none. You lock the front door, I break in through the back. You block the road. I find a new path. You doubt me. Thank you. That's fuel. This isn't about trophies. This isn't about applause. This is about knowing that when I died, I gave everything. That the dream didn't die in me because I lived it. I outworked them. I outlasted them. I believed them. You gotta want this thing like air. Like your next heartbeat, you got one it so bad, that quitting ain't even a word in your vocabulary anymore. I'm not waiting for a miracle. I am the miracle. I am the miracle. Not hoping for change. I am the change. Not chasing greatness. I am greatness. So when they ask, how'd you do it? I'll look them straight in the eyes and say, I will. Win. You have to understand something. Winning is not a result, it's a mindset. It's not just something that happens to you when conditions are right, when luck is on your side, or when all the stars align. No, winning starts with a decision. A deep soul level decision that you make long before the trophies, before the money, before the recognition. You have to decide, I will win. Even when you have no evidence that's possible, that decision is the seed. And if you never plant that seed, don't expect to ever see fruit. When you make that decision, it means something. It means you committed yourself to a path that doesn't come with shortcuts, handouts, or guarantees. It means you've told every doubt, every fear, every excuse. You don't own me anymore. That decision is a declaration of war against your comfort zone. And here's the part most people miss. When you decide to win, life doesn't get easier. It gets harder. Why? Because that decision calls everything around you into question. Your habits, your routine, your circle, your mindset, everything has to shift to line up with that decision. But that's the beauty of it. When you truly decide, you stop negotiating with excuses. You stop giving your weakness a seat at the table. You don't hit snooze anymore. You don't wait for motivation. You don't ask for validation. The decision to win flips a switch inside you. And from that point on, average is no longer acceptable. You're not aiming for good enough. You're aiming for greatness. People don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they never fully commit. They make half decisions. They say they want it, but they haven't burned the boats. They haven't removed a plan B. They haven't locked in. When you really decide, quitting is no longer on the menu. You don't get to try your best and walk away if it doesn't work. You stay in the fight until it's done. You bleed if you have to. You crawl if you have to, but you keep moving forward. You think people at the top got there by accident? You think they coasted to greatness? No, they made a decision when nobody believed in them, when they had no support, when they were broke, tired, and afraid. They made the decision when everything around them said a no, but something inside them said a go. That kind of decision rewires your brain. You stop waiting for things to feel right. You start doing what's necessary instead of what's comfortable. You get up when you don't want to. You study when you'd rather sleep. You grind when no one's watching. Why? Because you already decided. And that decision is not loud, it's not flashy. Sometimes it's made in the dark. Sometimes it's made when you're alone, tears in your eyes, fists clenched, heartbroken. It's a quiet promise to yourself. I will win. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I will. And when that promise is real, everything else starts to change. You move different when you've decided. You talk different. You talk different, you don't have time for distraction. You stop playing victim. You stop blaming your past, your parents, your circumstances, your environment. None of that matters anymore because your decision took ownership. Your decision put the pen back in your hand. You're not waiting for someone to rescue you. You're not looking for approval. You're on a mission now. Some people are waiting for permission to go all in. They're waiting for signs, waiting for someone to say, it's okay. Whoa, listen to me. The only permission you need is the decision you make. Stop waiting. You're wasting time, and time doesn't care about your excuses. You got one shot at this life. One. And how you live it comes down to one thing, the decision to win or not. That's it. That's the truth. The decision to win doesn't mean you won't get hit. It doesn't mean you won't fail. You will fail. You will fall. You will doubt yourself. But if the decision is real, if it's locked in, none of that can stop you. It might slow you down, but it won't break you. You'll get back up every time you're not chasing a feeling. You're following a decision. It's the difference between people who finish and people who don't. The ones who finished didn't have more talent. They didn't have more time. They weren't lucky. They weren't lucky. They just made the decision and they stuck to it. Through every storm, every setback, every failure, they stayed locked in. They knew what they signed up for and they refused to quit. Most people never reach their potential because they treat commitment like a contract. They say, I'll do this as long as it's convenient, as long as I'm seeing progress, as long as it feels good. But the decision to win isn't a contract. It's a covenant. It's sacred. It's unbreakable. It means I'm in no matter what. That's what separates winners from the rest. Not the ability, but the resolve. You think winning just happens? You think people stumble into success? No, it starts in the mind. Long before the victory is visible. Long before the results. Long before the breakthrough. It begins the moment someone says, no more, I'm done playing small. I'm done holding back. That moment is the turning point. Everything before that was practice. Everything before that was potential. But when you make that decision, that real hot on fire, no turning back decision, you step into your destiny. Pain is not your enemy. It's your trainer. It's the fire that burns off the weakness. It's the weight that builds your strength. You can't run from pain and expect to grow. You can't avoid discomfort and expect to rise. Pain is part of the process. Not a punishment, not a detour to the process. Everyone wants to win, but nobody wants to suffer. Everyone wants the glory, but nobody wants to grind. But the truth is, you don't get to the top without going through something at the bottom. You don't become great in the spotlight. You become great in the struggle. When you're in pain, you're being shaped. When it hurts, you're being refined. That pain you're feeling, that's the price of admission. That's the down payment on your dream. You think champions just arrive? You think winners are born on top? No, they go through it. They get knocked down. They get betrayed. They lose people. They fail in public. They suffer in silence. But they don't let that pain break them. They use it. They turn it into fuel. They find strength in the suffering. Pain introduces you to your real self. It strips away the lies you tell yourself when things are easy. When everything's going right, you can believe anything about yourself. But when you're hurting, when nothing is working, when you're down to your last option, that's when your true character steps forward. That's when you find out who you are. And sometimes that version of you isn't who you thought. Sometimes the pain exposes the weakness, the fear, the hesitation. That's a good thing, because now you can face it. Now you can fight it. Now you can build something stronger in its place. People run from pain like it's the enemy. But listen, every time you run from pain, you run from power. Every time you back down from a challenge because it's uncomfortable, you forfeit a part of your greatness. Pain is the price. Pain is the path. You can't cheat your way around it. You can't pray it away, wish it away, or wait it out. You have to go through it. You have to face it. You have to sit in it long enough to learn the lesson, because that lesson will level you up. That pain will teach you more than success ever could. Pain will make you pay attention. It will focus you. It will sharpen you. It will force you to move different, think different, act different, act different. When everything's going good, you coast. You get comfortable, but pain shakes you. Pain wakes you. It reminds you that you're not finished yet. It reminds you there's more work to do. And yeah, it hurts, but that hurt has a purpose. That suffering has a direction. It's pointing you toward your next breakthrough, toward your next evolution. You ever notice how people who've really been through something walk different, talk different? There's a power in their presence, a weight in their words. That's not because they read some book or watch some motivational video. That's because they lived it. They bled for it. They went through hell and came out on fire. That's what pain does. It builds a fire in you, a fire that comfort could never create, a fire that soft living could never ignite. When you're hurting, it feels like you're alone, like nobody understands, like nobody sees you. But that's when you're closest to your transformation. That's when the growth is happening. See, trees don't grow in perfect weather. Muscles don't grow without resistance. Diamonds are made in peace. They're made under pressure. You are being forged. You are being built, not in spite of the pain, but because of it. You got to change your relationship with pain. Stop seeing it as a thing that's stopping you and start seeing it as a thing that's training you. Every tear, every sleepless night, every failure shaping you is making you stronger, tougher, more resilient. It's preparing you for a level you couldn't handle before. The pain is producing the version of you that can carry the dream, that can handle the wind. And don't get it twisted. Pain doesn't mean you're failing. Pain doesn't mean you're off track. Sometimes pain is the most accurate sign that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Growth hurts, change hurts, discipline hurts, letting go of old habits hurts. Saying no to what's easy and yes to what's hard hurts. But that hurt is the evidence that you're moving, that you're shifting, that you're not standing still anymore. So many people stop when it hurts. They think pain is the end, but pain is just the beginning. Pain is the door. If you can press through it, you'll discover everything you've been chasing is on the other side. Everything worth having costs something. That's the rule. You want success, it's going to cost time, effort, sacrifice. You want greatness, it's going to cost tears, sweat, blood. There's no discount. There's no coupon code. You pay full price and pain is the currency. People think the goal is to avoid pain. No, the goal is to outgrow it, to become stronger than it, to feel it, face it, and keep moving anyway. Because that's what champions do. They don't wait for the pain to pass. They don't quit because it's hard. They lean into it. They let it mold them. They let it break the parts of them that were never strong enough to carry the weight of the dream in the first place. That's the real win. Not just the outcome, but who you become through the process. Resilience is not just bouncing back. It's rising up stronger. It's looking at what tried to break you and saying, you should have finished me when you had the chance. Resilience isn't about being untouched by the storm. It's about walking out of it different. Tougher and more dangerous than you were before. Every champion you admire didn't get there because they avoided failure. They got there because they refused to let failure define them. Resilience is the trait that separates those who dream from those who build their dreams. You see, life is going to test you. Not once, not twice, over and over again. It will knock you down when you least expect it. It will hit you in the gut when you're finally feeling good. But resilience is what allows you to absorb the blow, shake it off and say, all right, let's go again. That might happen by accident. It's built one challenge at a time. Every time you fall, choose to rise, even when it hurts, even when you're tired. You are training your resilience. You are proving to yourself that you're not just in this for the good days. You're in this for all the days. Resilient people don't look for easy. They don't look for perfect conditions. They work with what they've got. They make it happen even when the odds are stacked. Resilience means showing up when it's raining. When it's raining, when it's dark, when nobody's clapping, when nobody believes in you but you. It's doing the work regardless of the outcome. It's showing up again and again. Trusting the process even when it feels like progress isn't coming fast. You can be the most talented person in the room, but if you can't handle pressure, if you fold every time things get hard, then you'll never make it. Talent without resilience is wasted potential. Because talent gives you the start, but resilience carries you through the middle, through the dry seasons, through the rejections, through the quiet months when nobody's calling, nobody's watching, and all you have is that little voice inside saying, keep going. Resilience isn't loud, it's not flashy. It's not about posting your wins on social media. It's what you do when the camera's off, when the doors are closed, when no one sees the tears, the grind, the nights you spend questioning if it's even worth it. It's in those moments that resilience grows. Not when everything is clicking, but when nothing is. and you choose to keep moving forward anyway. You want to win? You better get comfortable with setbacks. You better understand that the path to anything great is paved with losses, with hard lessons, with moments where you want to give up. But resilient people don't stop there. They don't throw pity party. They don't quit because of a bad week or a rough season. They adjust, they recalibrate, they come back stronger, smarter, more dangerous. Because every time they fall, they rise, and each rise makes it more unstoppable. People think resilience is something you're born with. It's not. It's a skill. And like any skill, it has to be worked, tested, stretched. It's built in adversity, in hardship, and the uncomfortable. That's why struggle is valuable. That's why pressure is necessary. You don't grow resilience when everything is easy. You grow it when everything is falling apart, and you decide to stand anyway. You might have every reason to quit, every excuse lined up. But resilient people don't operate off reason. They operate off purpose. They know what they're fighting for. They remember why they started. That memory, that vision, that purpose, it carries them when the motivation disappears. Because it will. Motivation is temporary, but resilience is daily. It shows up even when nothing else does. Resilience doesn't mean you don't feel pain. It means you don't let pain have the final say. It means you don't avoid discomfort. You grow through it. It means you cry if you have to, but you still lace up your shoes and get back in the game. Resilience isn't about pretending everything's okay. It's about knowing that even when it's not, you are. And listen, you're going to face people who doubt you, people who walk away, people who leave when it gets tough. But resilient people don't crumble when they're left alone. They use the silent strength. They use solitude as a space to level up because they know that the journey isn't about applause. It's about impact. And to create that impact, you have to outlast the pressure. The world is full of people who started strong but never finished. Full of potential that never got realized because it could weather the storm. Don't be one of them. Keep showing up. Who keeps trying up? Who keeps believing? Who keeps believing? Be the one who doesn't fold under failure but rises from it. The one who doesn't run from the fire but walks through it and comes out forged. Resilience isn't some superpower. It's a choice. A choice you make every day. A decision that no matter what comes, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how long it takes, you won't stop. You won't give up. You will take the hit, get back up, and keep pushing forward. Because every time you do, you're building a version of yourself that nothing can break. Opportunity is not something you wait for. It's not something that knocks politely on your door. It's not a lucky break or a perfect moment that shows up with a sign that says, "This is it." Opportunity is created. It's hunted down. It's built from the ground up with blood, sweat, and sacrifice. If you're sitting around waiting for someone to pick you, to validate you, to hand you a chance, you've already lost. Because the real winners in life are the ones who decided they weren't going to wait. They were going to build it themselves. You don't find opportunity, you become it. You don't look around hoping something good comes your way. You